Hi, everybody. Wanted to talk about the power of making a good impression. It doesn't have to be the first impression or the second, but it's what you say and how you say it, coming from your authentic self, being honest, truthful, essentially you being you, not putting on a show. Again, just be yourself. So, with that said, I wanted to share a personal story with you that dates back to May of last year. That's when I anchored and reported the news in Corpus Christi. We did this weekly segment, and it was called Table Talk. Very interesting concept. And once a week, from all 12 counties that we served, we'd go to one of those counties. A photographer and I would pick a restaurant at random, then go inside and pick a person or a group of people. I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but it worked. Because all we wanted to do was tell people's stories. And so many people would ask us, what story? And say, we don't have a story. What could we say? So eventually, most of the time, we managed to sit down with them, and guess what? Each and every time, someone had a story to tell. It might have taken a while to get that person to open up, but once they did, they shared some of the most intimate moments and biggest battles of their lives. Now, in this case, one time we went to Alice, Texas. We went inside the restaurant. I looked all around the room, and that's when I saw this table of about 6 or 7 people. And seated at that table, a woman with gray hair, but she was wearing this amazing hat. And it's that hat that drew me over there. We began talking and talking and talking, and it turns out that woman, Frances Luna, wow, she had all different kinds of hats. And the reason, this is powerful, she had fought and beat cancer for more than 20 years. And I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget how she told me and showed me what a fighter she was. That she wasn't about to let cancer get in the way of really living her life. And she and I and one of her daughters, we kept in touch after that day. I remember those text messages with Frances sending me pictures and how she loved to go to the casino. Yeah, the casino. That was a big deal for her, in addition to the hats. So we fast forward to today, more than a year later, and I received a text message, and I wanted to read it to you. And it said, Paul, I just wanted to let you know my mother passed away this Monday, and we had her funeral yesterday. It was a roller coaster, and I didn't have time for anything. But as I was sitting here, I was texting every one of our friends she loved, and you were one that she thought you were amazing. Thank you, crossing our paths till we meet again. And it was signed, Friends. That was powerful. But here's the thing, I had no idea who the text came from. All it showed was a phone number from Houston, Texas, and then there was that message. So I took a day to think about it and then responded in the best way I could. I said something to the effect of, your message made me so sad. I can't even begin to think of how you're handling it and dealing with it and the grief. And then I said, I guess I don't want to have to think about it, because how would I handle it? Because for me, for her, it's the woman who gave us life. So I went on to say that I was in Florida now, and when the message popped up, all it said was Houston, and this was the dicey part. So I'm not quite sure who this is, but that doesn't change my heartache for you. Sometimes, we don't know the impression we made on others until someone points it out, like you have. I have a feeling I did a story with your mom. Is your mom the one who liked to wear the different hats, and she had many battles in her life that she fought so bravely? And then I think at the end I said, I feel terrible that I don't know exactly who this is. I'm sorry. I did my best at that. And at that point, I had no idea if this person would get back to me. Thing is, shortly after, they did. And it was one of Frances Luna's daughters. It was her daughter that she was so close to. So I'm thinking to myself, how did I know that? I mean, I've interviewed so many people in life, and the only way that I knew it was Frances, how? God. That's what I've come to the conclusion. God told me. It was thanks to my faith. So at that point, I was even more saddened to know that Frances had passed. I want you to go ahead right now and take a look at the story we did together. And I'll be back after that to share a few more words with you. Well, it is Tuesday morning, and that means another edition of Table Talk, where we go county to county throughout the coastal bend to find out what you are talking about. And this morning, the story of a family slowly torn apart, a devastating and deadly illness to blame. But it's their faith and their close ties that keeps this family going, even as yet another member of the family wonders, when will her time come? So we're off to Alice in Jim Wells County as this family continues to fight to keep each other alive.
I lost my husband. I lost a daughter, a sister, and a mother, a grandmother, all for cancer.
So much loss in just one family, though it's not stopping Frances Luna from staying strong, even though her days are numbered.
Well, I am a cancer patient. I've been since 2001, and it progresses.
Cancer first robbed Frances of one of her kidneys. That was back in 2001, and now, nearly 2 decades later, the cancer would come back. This time in her lungs. Doctors giving Frances 6 months to a year. You could feel pity for yourself.
No.
Why not?
Why? I take a day at a time.
Chemo has certainly taken its toll, and then when Frances began losing her hair, she decided she wasn't going to let cancer take everything. So she began wearing these hats, making her feel better, she says, at least on the outside.
It makes me feel human. It makes me feel, attractive.
And that's exactly how Frances felt the day we met her at Chateau Restaurant in Alice, as she and some of her closest loved ones returned from one of her granddaughter's quinceañeras.
I'm glad I got to see her because at my age and with my illness, you never know what tomorrow holds.
Lost. A little bit lost.
Frances's middle daughter, Virginia, realizes she has to stay strong, if not for her mother, for herself. How similar would you say you are to your mother?
I don't know. We clash.
They may clash, but it's all part of that mother-daughter bond they share. Are you what they call your mother's child?
Yes, she is. We go everywhere together.
Well, yeah, we do, but no, that's my little sister. I'm just in the middle.
But it's Virginia, the middle child, who now spends a lot of time with her mother since they live together and share their good times and the bad together.
Not that I don't have faith, but,
She'll be by herself.
we always we agree and we disagree to disagree, you know what I mean? But I've always been with her.
And that's how Frances and Virginia will be, making the most of each day until that one day finally arrives. But in the meantime, Frances isn't letting cancer get in the way of living life now.
I'm still keep on trucking.
How do you remain so strong in the face of adversity like that?
The Lord. He's the one that gives me the strength.
Wow. Frances was certainly a fighter. Her faith led her through what we could have called a tumultuous life, but to Frances, no, not really. It was amazing to see, to feel, to hear that she lived a life every day to its fullest. She had a good life, and I miss her. And that brings me back full circle to the impression we have the ability to make with other people and on other people. I was so honored when Frances's daughter told me she texted me because they considered me to be a friend they loved, and that Frances thought I was amazing. And no, this is not ego. This is just heart. That made me so happy to be on that list. Frances remembered little old me. So the power we have of making an impression, we all do it, whether it be good, bad, indifferent. Though I feel it's important to remember, be you. I was. Be your authentic self. I was. Be the person who makes such an impression in someone else's life that you don't even realize it until they tell you. With that, rest in peace, Francis Luna. Heaven's gained another angel, and I believe so have I.